This is the Sabbath School lesson for the fourth quarter, 2021.
Lesson 5 from the series Present Truth in Deuteronomy is titled The Stranger in Your Gates. It's ready for teaching on October 30, and I'm Percy Harrold. Thursday, October 28, Pure Religion Before God. Read Deuteronomy 24, verses 10 to 15. What important principles are being expressed here regarding how we are to treat those who are under our control? Deuteronomy 24, beginning at verse 10. When you lend your brother anything, you shall not go into his house to get his pledge. You shall stand outside, and the man to whom you lend shall bring the pledge out to you. And if the man is poor, you shall not keep his pledge overnight. You shall in any case return the pledge to him again when the sun goes down, that he may sleep in his own garment and bless you, and it shall be righteousness to you before the Lord your God. You shall not oppress a hired servant who is poor and needy, whether one of your brethren or one of the aliens who is in your land within your gates. Each day you shall give him his wages, and not let the sun go down on it, for he is poor and has set his heart on it, lest he cry out against you to the Lord, and it be sin to you. Again, we see the Lord's concern for basic human dignity. Yes, someone owes you something, and it's time to collect, but show the person a bit of respect, a bit of dignity, will you? Don't go barging into his place and demand it. Instead, wait outside and let him come and give it to you. Deuteronomy 24:12 and 13 seems to say that if some poor soul gave you his garment as collateral, you need at least to let him sleep in it overnight. The other verses deal with how one treats the poor who work for him or her, who can be so easily oppressed. Don't oppress them, because in the eyes of God it is a sin, and surely a grievous one too. Again, if Israel were to be a witness, a holy people walking in truth amid a world steeped in error, idolatry, evil and sin, surely they would have to be kind to the weakest and most marginalized among them. Otherwise, their witness would be nothing. Read James 1, verse 27 through to chapter 2, verse 11. What is James saying here that reflects what the Lord was telling his people in Deuteronomy? What significance is there in the fact that in these verses James links mistreatment of the poor with the 10 Commandments? James 1, beginning at verse 27. Pure and undefiled religion before God and the Father is this: to visit orphans and widows in their trouble, and to keep oneself unspotted from the world. My brethren, do not hold the faith of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Lord of glory, with partiality. For if there should come into your assembly a man with gold rings, in fine apparel, and there should also come in a poor man in filthy clothes, and you pay attention to the one wearing the fine clothes, and say to him, "You sit here in a good place," and say to the poor man, "You stand there," or "Sit here at my footstool," have you not shown partiality among yourselves and become judges with evil thoughts? Listen, my beloved brethren, has God not chosen the poor of this world to be rich in faith and heirs of the kingdom which he promised to those who love him? But you have dishonoured the poor man. Do not the rich oppress you and drag you into the courts? Do they not blaspheme that noble name by which you are called? If you really fulfill the royal law according to the Scripture, you shall love your neighbour as yourself. You do well. But if you show partiality, you commit sin and are convicted by the law as transgressors. For whoever shall keep the whole law and yet stumble in one point, he is guilty of all. For he who said, "Do not commit adultery," also said, "Do not murder." Now, if you do not commit adultery, but you do murder, you have become a transgressor of the law. Though nothing in the 10 Commandments themselves directly relates to showing partiality to the rich over the poor, sternly adhering to the letter of the law while at the same time mistreating the poor or needy makes mockery of one's profession of faith and any claim to keep the commandments. Loving your neighbour as yourself is the highest expression of God's law, and this is present truth now, as much as it was in the time of James, and as it was when Moses spoke to Israel on the borders of the Holy Land. And so to finish today, why must we as Seventh-day Adventists who take keeping the law seriously make sure we are as serious about the words of James and Deuteronomy? Given what we read in James, why should our belief in the keeping of the law only strengthen our resolve to help the poor and needy among us? This lesson was read by Dr. Percy Harrold for Christian Services for the Blind. Sponsored by the Sabbath School Department and distributed through Hope Channel Australia, this podcast is also redistributed by Hope Channel Germany, Christian Record Services for the Blind, and It Is Written. It is also available on SoundCloud and through multiple podcast distributors, including Apple iTunes. Remember, God is always faithful.